This is Professor Thompson, and this is exercise 51 and 1.4. We want to know the limit as t goes to 0 of the tangent of 6t over the sine of 2t. So we know that the limit of sine theta over theta as theta goes to 0 is 1, and we're going to use that. And first we're going to multiply by 1 over 2t over 1 over 2t. And so the reason we do that is that the denominator becomes a limit that we can do with our special limit. So we know that that denominator is going to go to 1, but then we have to figure out what to do with this big numerator, tangent of 6t over 2t. So to keep things simple, we know that this denominator is going to go to 1. So I just want to focus on this numerator and kind of write it as its own limit, because remember, because we know the denominator is not going to go to 0, we know that we can just do the limits of the numerator and the denominator separately. And in fact, because we know the limit on the denominator is 1, this is basically just reducing down to this problem, the limit as t goes to 0 of tangent of 6t over 2t, because that is the problem divided by 1, because the limit in the denominator was 1. So first I'm going to use the trig identity that tangent is sine over cosine. So I have sine of 6t over cosine of 6t all over 2t. And I'm going to say it's all over 2t over 1 because I want to clear this double fraction. So I'm really dividing by the reciprocal. So that makes it a bit more clear, and I want to associate the t with sine. So we'll say we have sine of 6t over t times 1 over 2 times cosine of 6t. Because on the right, that cosine, we know that limit. That one we can work. But sine of 6t really needs to be divided by 6t, not just t. So I'm going to multiply by 6 over 6. And so that's going to give me the limit as t goes to 0 of the sine of 6t over 6t times 6 over 2 cosine of 6t. And of course, we can reduce that 6 to a 3 and get rid of that 2. So the limit on the left is going to be 1, and I can go ahead and separate these limits. So the limit on the left is 1, and the limit on the right I can just substitute. So I get 3 over the cosine of 6 times 0. And that's the cosine of 0, and the cosine of 0 is 1. So this is just 1 times 3. And so your answer is ultimately 3.